Olatunbode received a first-class degree in computer science from the University of Lagos. He went on to obtain an MBA and is currently a top-class professional. He has written this amazing book titled Ace It, which is basically about academic success strategies. Trust me when I say it is a fantastic book for students and even for those of us who have been out of school for a while. Jide joined us to review his book and discuss issues relating to its theme. Enjoy the interview. Jide, thank you for joining us on the channel's book club.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
It's my pleasure.
We've written a very good book.
Thank you.
Highly recommended for students. Tell viewers about it a little bit. I've gone through it. It's exciting. But tell viewers, what's your book about?
Okay, it's pretty simple. My book is about, I wrote some strategies for academic success. When I was in school, I noticed that some students did very well and some did not do so well. I also noticed that those that did not do so well, it wasn't because they did not try. These students actually read into the night. These students go to classes. These students attend tutorial. At the end of the day, they performed average, below average. My question was why? And so I asked the very bright ones and noticed what they did. I found similarities between them. It was interesting. And these similarities I put into a book. The reason why I thought it would be a book was because my final year, I told one of my colleagues to apply one or two or three of these strategies. And her grades just took off. It was amazing. She was an average student. She came to me crying a bit, saying, Jide, I'm about to graduate. I don't know what to do. I said, okay. I put my notes. I said, do 1, 2, 3. And he did it, and she got excellent results. So I said, wow, this is something that most students should hear about.
I actually wish I had read your book.
Yeah.
Now, make me jealous a little bit. What does a first-class degree do for you? What has it done for you? I know you have a first class. You had a first class in computer science, Unilag.
Yes.
What did that do for you?
Well, 3 things. One, it gives you options. Once you leave school, the average student is limited, right? So you want to go and look for a job. Or you want to do masters and start looking for where to further your degree. But with the first class, you can do literally anything. You can, because for jobs that come up, they'll tell you you should be a first class, or
everybody wants you.
Exactly. Everybody wants the first class student, right? So your options are just limited. You can study in Nigeria, you can study abroad, you can get a scholarship. It really gives you that plenty options and opportunities, right? The doors are open, more or less. Secondly, a first class gives you, it makes you become a better person. Because there's some habits you should have picked up while you're in school, habits of discipline, hard work, etc., that you can easily reapply those habits in life.
Other areas of life.
Exactly. So when life in general is concerned, you become a better person because you had that first class. And I'm speaking generally speaking, right? Thirdly, and most importantly, it puts you on your toes. When you enter a room and they say this is a first class student, or when you start your career, you want to make sure that you still keep up to that label, right? So you are constantly on your toes, defending that status quo and put yourself at the edge, more or less. So those three, and it's pretty good.
I wish I had a first class. Now, from your book, you are saying that there are certain strategies that students need to apply to get very good grades. And you also said that a lot of students are unaware of those strategies, hence you're writing the book. Can you share with us maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of those strategies that you wrote about in your book?
Okay. Let me talk briefly on the awareness part, right? And I also found it interesting that even the students that do so well are still not aware of what they are doing. So it's unconscious. So they do the right things, but they don't know what those right things are. I mentioned 1. 1 is reading. Now it's easy to say reading, and then someone was and said, of course, you have to read to pass your exams. But I'm not saying read your academic books. I'm saying just read. The students who do so well have formed the habit of reading over time. They read novels, or they read the Bible, the Quran, or they read magazines. They read something from their small formative years, from secondary school to the university.
But I never had that impression. I thought first class or top grade students just stick to their
books,
academic books.
And doesn't read that throughout.
Is it that what happens?
No, it's not. Is it probably in school? Yes. But you notice that outside of school, at home or something, they're reading something. They're not reading a blog, or they're reading a fashion magazine. I've polled these students, and I've seen that for every 10 students, every 10 top students, there is only one who sticks to her school books throughout.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. So reading is pretty key. I call it cerebral weightlifting, and that's in the book, because it's kind of like I use the analogy of the guy who goes to the gym. Right, 2 people go to the gym to practice for the Olympics. One goes to the gym the year that the Olympics starts. The other goes to the gym 4 years before the Olympics starts. So one of them has 4 years of experience in gymming. His muscles are toned, he's very strong. The other guy has just 6 months of experience. Who do you think would win if 2 of them are competing? The guy with the 4 years. Exactly. And that's how it works. If you read over time, your brain develops the habit, that your brain develops itself and become very well versed in reading, such that when the academic books come up, you usually just gloss through it.
Okay.
But the guy who picks it up at first struggles.
Okay, that's one.
That's one. Yeah. So I call the second one the law of interdependence. Right. So I said there are 3 classes of students. There is the guy who is totally dependent on others. This guy goes to class when everybody's going to class. This guy reads when everybody's reading. This guy does everything his friends are doing. He doesn't really know himself and knows what works for him. That person, at best, is an average student. At best. Second class of student is what I call the independent student. This guy knows he's very good. He knows how smart he is, and so he reads by himself. He disappears. I'm sure students will know one or 2 of such students who disappear into the night and read and come back. So maybe after 24 hours, 48 hours, and then
smoking hot.
Exactly. So these are independent students. They're very good. They know they are very good, and they capitalize on that. There's a higher level, which I call interdependent students. These students know that they are good, but they also know that they can't succeed alone. Exactly. These are the high flyers. They capitalize on their intelligence, but also capitalize on the intelligence of others, and then together they all succeed. Yeah, so those are the 3 major big blocks.
Now, in your book, you confessed you were not a geek. What's the common expression for that in Nigeria? In Nigerian schools?
Yes.
You were not a geek. You were not an effico.
No, I wasn't.
So, how did you get a first class?
Well,
by applying those strategies in your book?
Yes.
Consciously or unconsciously?
Good thing was, I realized. I made a 5.0 in my second year in university, right? So I was shocked. At that point, I began to ask myself how. Right? I was very, very conscious of. I wanted to replicate what I did in my second year, and so I tried to do it again in my third year, tried it again in my fourth year. So I made 1 or 2 mistakes along the line, and I corrected myself. I applied the strategies that was in this book to the letter. That's why it was easy for me to tell someone else how to do it in my final year. And so together we succeeded. Very, 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 very.
I like something you said about writing down your goals, being very clear as a student. You were very clear, you wanted to get top grade, you wrote it down. Your friends saw what you wrote down. Some of them were laughing at you, some of them didn't understand what you were doing, but it worked out for you. That was interesting. Is that something you also apply in other areas of life?
I think from 2007, every year I write down what I want to achieve. When I was in school, it was very easy. I'll make a first class in computer science, right? So, and then I come down to say I want to make a 5.0 GPA in this semester. So I was very specific in my goals. And the interesting thing was I wrote those goals down and I pasted them up in my dormitory, in my room. And my friend saying, he read the book, and my friends saw it, and so a few of them laughed, a few of them did it, and we had the same result. I've consistently done that till today. So today I have a goal I want to achieve in 2014. This time around I use an Excel sheet and populated them and printed them out. So it's something I do consistently because there's power. I realized the power that it gave me in school, and I'm still experiencing that power even now.
Are academic degrees exaggerated? Are they overrated in Nigeria?
No, that's a very deep question.
Bill Gates dropped out. Larry Ellison of Oracle dropped out. Michael Dell dropped out. Steve Jobs of Apple dropped out. Do I need an academic degree?
I can also mention some Nigerians who probably had no academic degrees. And well, in Nigeria, the question is not so simple. So I'm not going to give a yes or a no, right? On whether academic degrees are overrated or not. It's more of a cultural, deep-seated issue on the level, on the emphasis the typical Nigerian family places on a graduate degree, on a graduate degree. So you will see people arguing, and then they'll say, "For crying out loud, I'm a graduate. Why are you talking to me like that?" So there's a level of class that people see themselves once they get that BSc or BA degree. And it becomes pretty diabolical when the manager in the office with a master's degree looks down on his subordinate with a BSc degree. The BSc holder looks down on his driver with the whatever. The driver looks down on the vulcanizer. Do you know that kind of thing? So I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm going to say that it could be a lot better. We could get avenues for people to thrive without a BSc. There are tertiary institutions, polytechnics, colleges of education that people can go through and get a good means of existence. There should also be honor in labor. Like other parts of the world, you're a plumber and you're proud to be a plumber. In this part of the world, it's something to be embarrassed about. So it's a very deep question that I'm sure you don't want us to go through it in this.
Let's check out these results, these recent WAEC results. Does this result indicate? I mean, everybody blames the government for the last 3 years WAEC results. There seems to be a decline in performance of students. Now, does it have to do also with students not understanding the strategies for success, or should we heap all the blames on the government and the state of the educational system in Nigeria?
Well, it takes two to tango, right? So for us to get a better performance, I think it was 30% or so in last November, December WAEC results. So yes, 3 parties are to blame. 1, the government, who creates the environment, right? Because the environment, the level of the training for the teachers, the level of the infrastructure in school, etc., etc. The government is the right person to make all of this much better. Second is the students, right? The students should also be self-motivated, right, to pass their exams. But the third party, which is largely ignored, is parents, because for students in secondary schools, their biggest source of motivation is their parents. And so a parent that has little or no interest in the results the children bring back from school, who just pays the school fees and says, okay, my father paid my school fees and I did everything, so I'm paying your school fees, go and do everything by yourself. So we won't expect, the student won't be motivated to do much more or to put that extra, because in spite of the infrastructure challenges, some students are still making the best of it from private and public schools. So the right motivation from the parents and the right self-motivation from the students, I'm sure the performance will look much better in spite of the government's efforts.
Jide, thank you for joining us on the channel's book club.
Thank you, Colin.
You've written a fantastic book.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Many factors define your health. Some you can control, while others are simply beyond you. On Health News, we highlight all these factors and through medical experts provide information that will help you take informed decisions on healthy living, nutrition, and keeping fit. Get incisive health policy analysis. Health News, promoting good health.
I hope you have enjoyed today's show. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.